let me comment also, just if I can add some color to the last question as well. I agree with everything Nora said. I mean, the origins of this epidemic are very complex. And there were people like Nora and others who 10, 15 years ago were trying to raise the alarm about this. Yeah. But it took a long time for people as a profession to fully get on board. Now, I think that part of the reason why we've seen a switch in terms of awareness has to do with who's affected. You know, the truth is, you would like to believe that leaders in society, whether it's leaders in Congress or in the media or in our institutions, whatever, decide what to cover and what to target in terms of legislation based on the scope and volume of impact. But that isn't always the case. It turns out that personal narrative and personal experience still drive a lot of what people think about, because people are people. And as legislators and other leaders started to see more people who looked like them and who they knew affected by this crisis, then I think it started to take hold in people's minds that, hey, maybe there's something real here. The truth is, the drug crisis in America did not crop up 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. You know, we spent many decades dealing with the drug crisis, but during much of that time, the drug epidemic was focused and concentrated in poor communities and often in communities of color. And many of those communities are very upset now because they say, where were you when we were struggling 30 years ago? Where was all of this outrage and the effort and the focus from both sides of the aisle? And the truth is that 30 years ago, as a country, we largely said, not everybody, but many people understood addiction to be a disease of choice, a disease that was affected people who were of weak character or weak morals and didn't have the willpower to say no to drugs. We now know that that's not the case, and a big focus of my work when I was Surgeon General, a big focus of Nora's work and many of our colleagues has been to redefine addiction as a disease of the brain, a chronic illness, just like diabetes or heart disease.